Okay, hello. Welcome to this updated Notion Tour 2022. It has been, I think, 9 months since I last posted a Notion video, and that is because I kind of fell off the bandwagon when it comes to making videos, and I recently started college, so it's been difficult to kind of like organize myself using Notion, so I was kind of just barely grasping at straws to get through it. And so I thought for the new year I'd kind of reel it in and make another Notion video because I recently redid my Notion to try and get myself more organized for the new year. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a tour around my Notion workspace, and if you don't know what Notion is, it's basically an all-in-one workspace where you can kind of organize yourself, put to-do lists down, and just kind of create a bunch of trackers and different spreads that you can use in your daily life. This video specifically is not going to be like an in-depth tour into how to use Notion. That you can check out my other video if you want to see that. This one is going to be more of a introduction into what I have done specifically for my Notion setup. So let's begin. Okay, so I have my laptop right over here. Hopefully these sun things aren't getting in the way. But I'm about to start recording so you can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to throw that onto the main video. Am I recording? Hello? How do I know? Okay, hold up, technical difficulties. Okay, so we got it to work. I'm about to start the recording, and then I'm gonna bring you through my Notion. Okay, it should be recording now, so hopefully you can see my mouse kind of circling in the corner. But yeah, so this is my Notion. It's very green when you first see it. I love the color green, and I've recently been obsessed with kind of like earthly green tones, and so that's kind of what this is going to be for the home page. I did change it up a little bit for the other two pages that I have here. One of them on the sidebar is called Uni for university and or college, and then underneath that I have a tab for work. And so that's how I kind of segment out the three most important aspects of my life into home, university, and school, and then work. Okay, so to start off with the homepage, I kind of have a very general overview of many things on here. I try not to overload my homepage, and I've recently been into minimalism as well. And I found that in the past with most of my Notion pages, if I added too much stuff onto it, I kind of got like a little bit distracted. I couldn't really see what I was trying to look at here, and it was really difficult to organize so many different things. So I've kind of dumbed it down to like the most basic, most important things in my life, if that makes any sense. So within my homepage, I have 4 main pages here, and these are kind of the sub pages that I also categorize the things in my home page with. So we've got one for finances, one for a bookshelf. I'm gonna add one for movies and cinema as well when I get around to it, but I've been a little bit lazy, and I love watching films, so there's a lot to do for that page, so that'll be something I do in the future. I have one for general lists, and so this one's for tracking like groceries and stuff like that. And then I have one for general trackers, which I will show you later. And so here, this is kind of like a little overview of current favorite things. I like to kind of keep myself grounded in the sense that I have like little monthly favorites. It's kind of fun to just kind of put things down like that. So it's kind of fun to put down my favorite song. And in this box, obviously I haven't put anything here for some reason, but I could put my favorite movie of the month or my favorite something else. It really doesn't have to be specific, but I usually do it per month just so I can kind of keep myself updated. Okay, so this is completely purposeless. It's mainly just for aesthetics, but I put a little New Yorker magazine front cover because it matches with the little green theme that I've got going on here. To the right over here, because it's the new year, January, I kind of tried to put all of my New Year's resolutions here on the main homepage so that I could easily see what they were, and kind of come back to them every so often and make sure that I've been sticking with my New Year's resolutions. So I separated those into 2 categories. The first one is physical resolutions, and the second one is emotional resolutions. So that is a completely made up thing by me. But the first one is more of like physical things like read a book once a month and call my friends and family more often. So those are things that I can actively change within my physical daily routine. And then I have resolutions that are more emotional. So these are kind of like things that I want to change about like my mindset and the way I think. And so that's just to be more spontaneous and to stop being self-deprecating. Fun. So again, with the coming of the new year in 2022, I put a 2022 bucket list over here. And so these are just kind of, it's in a to-do list form, and it's just kind of things that I want to get done this year, see if I can achieve it. And I put it in the to-do list form so I can check it off when I've done those things. I have not gotten a job, and I have not done that either, so I'm gonna declick that for now. And then the last thing I have on my homepage is this little general things to know area. And so this is extremely personalized to me, but I think it's a really great way to efficiently put all of the most important things together. What I have is a mailing list. So if I toggle this down, I just have my own name and then some other people, and if I toggle that down again, it's just addresses of the people that I need to mail things to most often. And as a college student, I kind of want to maintain connections with people who aren't at the same college as me, and so I keep that handy just so I can easily, you know, kind of keep in contact with those people. And then over here, I haven't actually put any of my passwords in, but this is basically just a little passwords area, so I separate those into social, educational, financial, and shopping. So these are just kind of like links and websites that I need to remember most important passwords to, like banking. I don't put my banking information here though, that's dangerous. Social, like Instagram and or Snapchat and stuff like that. Educational, kind of like college login information, etc. And then this area, I have some other toggles here that I kind of want to use as well, but I haven't really thought of other general things I need to keep handy. But if I think of any more, I will put those in as well. Stop screen recording. I'm gonna move on. Okay, so now within my homepage, I have 4 other subpages, and you can actually also toggle down here on the sidebar to see those 4. And I've used a little T emoji because I thought it was really cute, and again, it matched with the little green theme that I've got going on here. So the first one is finances. So if we click on this one, it brings us to this little page, and of course it looks like it's empty because I put my incoming finances first and I don't make any money at the moment, so that's gonna be empty, but let's ignore that. But basically I separate my finances into incoming finances, and then I separate that by month. So underneath here I've got January 2022 finances, and then I have outgoing finances, and this is not supposed to be named that, hold up. And this basically is where I put all of my outgoing finances when it comes to me spending money. So I categorize that by month as well. And then I just put in the date of which I spent some money, the place, the category, so we've got food and dining and shopping, and then the amount of money I spend, just to kind of keep track of how much I spend per month. And that's a really good thing for me to track in college because I'm trying to also limit my spending as one of my New Year's goals for this year. But also this little calculate button at the bottom of this table is extremely convenient. You can sum the numbers or average, median, whatever you want. But I choose sum over here, so it just adds all of the numbers up so I don't have to do it myself. And then down here, this is just for me, I put a little university weekly budget thing. So when I actually go back to college, I kind of want to have this much to spend on groceries, this much to spend on general stuff, and I don't want to exceed $80 per week, I believe. This is very rough though, so I'm probably going to change that depending on how much I succeed or fail with that in the first week. And so beneath finances, we have this bookshelf one, and this I can just click on through using the little toggle button on the side. And so within the bookshelf, this is where I'm trying to track how I read, how much I read throughout the year, and I separate it based on books that I've read. So up here, I just put a little thing to Goodreads, and that's just a website where you can read books, so it's a really nice thing to check out. And I have an account on there, so that's where I track some of my books sometimes, so I just linked it here. Beneath that, I have these 3 little call out bars, and this is where I want to put my favorite books of the year. I've really not read anything yet, so they're completely empty, but I might put my favorite books of all time just so that I can put something there. And then just for ambiance, I added a little picture that I took in New York City. So beneath that, I'm gonna put all of the books that I read, and I'm gonna separate them into title. We have author here, and then we have the month and year in which I read it. So I really only started this kind of late, so I forgot all of the other books I read, but I just put this one. And then I'm gonna put the little rating below, and then a little description of how I felt about the book, what my thoughts were, just so I can remember the book and see if I ever want to go back and read it again. So this is the one I'm currently reading. I have not finished it because I've been so busy organizing my Notion and getting ready for college, but that's basically the format that it's going to continue throughout the year. And then on the right, I have a little want to read section, and so those are just the next books that I either already own or things that I just really, really want to read in the future. So on to the next page, we have a page of lists. So these are just general lists that I want to kind of track within my lifestyle. So the most important two that I have that I've tracked so far are just groceries, and then the second one is for home things. And groceries obviously is like food products and stuff like that, like chips. Here I have Korean seaweed, sweet potato chips, popcorn, etc. Those are just things that I want to buy to stock up my dorm. And I categorize that by like vegetables, snacks, dairy products, whatever, just to keep it easy. And then the second table I have for home stuff, and this is more of like storage items, bathroom things that I want. So I need like a new toothbrush, so I'd put that there, and extra stuff like that. So technology, stationery, and again, I categorize those in the second column as well. And onto the last page of my home category, we have trackers. So this I recently implemented, and it's actually been extremely convenient. And it's so simple. It's just a table of quote unquote, when did I last? So basically it's like, when did I last change toothbrushes, clean out the fridge, clean my room, etc. And basically in these columns, you just put the date of the last time you did it. And so every time I look at this, I can be like, oh, okay, I last changed my toothbrush August 29th of that's wrong, it's 2021, my bad. August 29th, 2021, or whatever, I think that's wrong, but I just put the date in there, and so I can see, oh, if it's been a long time, then I can kind of look back and be like, okay, I need to do that like immediately, or I have time until I need to do it again. And so it's just kind of like a reminder of things that I need to get done every so often. That's basically it for this entire little home section, and then I can toggle this back up, and we'll move on to the next page. So now we're going to move on to the second tab in my little Notion area on the sidebar here, and that is the one I've titled Uni and or College. So if we click on that, we have this wonderful little beige theme going on. I have a beige banner, and of course for ambience I put these little other pictures and magazine covers and stuff just to make it look pretty. And then within this one, I have 4 other subpages, the first one being academic plan, semester overview, clubs and commitments, and then ultimately grades. Within this, on this page in general, this is more of a general page before I get into those subpages. So I put main deadlines over here. And those are just kind of things that I need to keep track of immediately. So these are just applying for clubs, looking into different programs and stuff like that, and making sure I'm completely prepared for the weeks ahead. And then over here, I haven't started my spring semester yet, but this is where I will put in current projects that I'm working on, and things that I need to remember with regards to projects most immediately. And so I just type those into these little boxes so that I can see them easily when I get onto my university page. And then at college, I have a meal plan, and so I'm trying to plan out a little budgeting plan, which I've put over here. And then right beneath that, I just have 3 different like sub columns that aren't really columns but look like columns, and I separate that into quizzes, exams, and then general things to know. And so overall, that's just to see the most important things, and then now let's move into the sub pages. So let's start off with academic plan. So this is basically just an overview of my entire year as a freshman in college. So I've separated it into fall semester, and then I've separated it into spring semester over here. And so these are just documenting the different classes that I currently take and or already took last semester. And so last semester I totaled my credits as well, and I totaled the amount of credits per class, the class code, and then what the class was called. And I just kind of segment this just so I can see really quickly what I've already done, so I can plan out my future schedule. And it's just really easy to see which classes correspond to how many credits and what the title of the class is, just so I kind of know what I'm getting myself into. So this is a really simple academic plan. Again, I really am going for this like minimalist theme, so I'm trying not to overwhelm myself with so much stuff on one singular page. So underneath this toggle, we have the second one, which is semester overview. And so again, with this minimalistic theme, I just put my general spring semester timetable here. And so I have it segmented in a simple table. The top is just the days of the week from Monday to Friday, because I don't have any weekend classes. And then I just put the class code and then the time that the class is. Second to last, we have clubs and commitments. This page is a complete work in progress, but basically I've separated it into extracurricular things that I want to do, and then employment stuff that I want to do as well. This is basically where I'm just going to put stuff that I have to remember for all of my clubs and stuff like that. But yeah, there's really not much to go into here. It's just different like clubs and commitments, and that's pretty much it for that page. And so let's move on to the last one, which is grades. I don't know if I'm gonna block some of these out, but I didn't do terrible in my first semester, so we're probably good. But again, I just put a title, fall semester overview, and then I have a table here of the subjects I took, course levels, the grade that I got, the credit hours, and what that corresponds to in quote unquote quality points, which is a college term for how many points you get for doing well in class. And so I just summarized that here at the bottom. And that's pretty much it for grades. So we're gonna move on to the very last page that I have here, which is called work. So on to the very last one, which is work. If I click that in my sidebar here, I can click this. And this is extremely rusty. I have not really finished it. I'm gonna add some more stuff to this work table, but the most important thing is the only subpage that I have on it, which is for YouTube. So if we click on this tab, which is the YouTube tab, this is the beautiful, glamorous page that I've created for YouTube. So basically the first thing I do here is I separated it into goals and aspirations. This page is very much a jumble of things that I wanted to put on here. It's mostly for fun and just for a fun layout, so it doesn't really have any like extremely organized purpose or anything. But the first thing I did is put things for my goals and aspirations. I also put a really convenient link to my channel so I can access that really easily, and then just some of my favorite videos that I have. Obviously over here we have the lovely Notion video. Above that to the right we have a little to-do list, and actually if you saw earlier I don't actually put anything of my to-do lists on Notion. I have a separate app for that. It's actually called Todoist, and it's been one of my like favorite apps ever, but I don't really put any of my to-dos on my Notion because I like to keep all of those separate because I have a lot more and I use it very, very frequently. But I just put it here for YouTube because these are just kind of like not long term, but like medium term to-do list things, but they don't need to be like on a separate app. So I just put those here and I can just click those when I'm done. Below that, these are all the video links. Again, I can click on any of these to start playing the video or go to an external link. And then right below here, I have this little collage of things. So the first one is this video inventory. This is where I put the title of the video. I just started from 2022, so it's a very fresh new table. I put the title of the video, the category of the video. I only have like 3 real categories here for vlog, study log, and fashion. And then the upload date and or planned upload date. And then I can always create extra columns if I want to, just by clicking this plus button here, naming it, and then changing the property type over here if I want to add any more information about the video and or little editor's notes and stuff like that. Now to the right of that, I have this thing called the logs. I love using that term for some reason, but it really makes no sense. And it's basically this little view where I can click on 3 different main things. The first one is for ideas and concepts for new and upcoming videos. The second one is for sponsors and collaborations, which as you see is completely empty. And then the third one is just my little copy and paste and description card thing. I'll actually show you that. I just put like little questions, a little sub page for like tunes and music that I use, business inquiries stuff, ideas and concepts. These are just like me putting 1, 2, 3 for different video ideas, really simple. And then over here, obviously it's empty, but that's where I would put information about important sponsors and or collaborations that I'm doing. And then lastly over here, reaching big over here with these milestones, just so I can track kind of like the most important things that happen with this channel if I continue to post normally. But I just have that here. And that's pretty much the last thing that I have on my work thing because I haven't updated that with anything else, so YouTube is the only thing that I have going on here. And so if we just revisit our homepage, I can finally conclude this. I've been sitting here talking for a while. The lighting is like so dramatic. I mean, I love the blinds, but I really, there's a lot going on over here. Let's use this chocolate bar to hold up the camera. So that is the complete full I guess kind of sporadic version of my Notion tour. I just brought you through everything that I have in my Notion, everything that I use. But yeah, it's just, I love how it's like an all-in-one workspace to really just put everything together. So it's really, really fun. I had a lot of fun putting this whole thing together. And yeah, that basically summarizes it. So thank you for watching. And I'm gonna go edit this now. Okay, bye-bye.